So, gameplay in depth in video games. This was a while back before Devil May Cry 5 was released. So I want to say 2 or 3 years ago. I played the demo, and then in an after-school club, I couldn't shut up about it. So I've made this presentation to talk about video game depth as a thinly veiled excuse to talk about it. So there are three important components, at least from this guy, this greasy know-it-all right here. There are three main components that I personally found from that in good gameplay systems that have depth. First one, variety. Second, intentionality. And third is freedom. I'll go into each of them, but just keep those in mind. So I'm going to be talking using Devil May Cry as an 5 specifically as an example for this presentation. So that when I say I'm going to say a few things. The first one is options. They're any accessible in-game option, whether it be attacking, jumping, dodging, or whatever. Positioning is relative, your position relative to gameplay objects near an obstacle, near an enemy, or whatever. The third one, developed by Platinum Games. Anytime I mention a game like that, you are obligated as a human being and part of this society to play it, because they will never make a bad game. Unless it's Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, but that was taken off of the online store. So they have a clean track record so far. So first thing I kind of want to talk about, this kind of ties into variety. Balance. It's basically the ability to use an option and not have it be strictly worse than another option. There should be some sort of offset in between to make two options balanced in some way or equally comparable. And the way that I'm doing is that these are examples of two different moves in Devil May Cry, both of which are defensive options. The one on the left is the Trickster Air Dash, and the one on the right is the Royal Guard parry. There are a lot of asterisks with Royal Guard. Just keep that in mind. So basically, these are two defensive options that you can access in Devil May Cry at any given point. But the thing is that both of these actions are technically balanced. The reason being is that the Trickster Air Dash will, will essentially reposition you when you use it. And plus, it's a little bit of faster activation and doesn't come at a possible caveat. So it's overall a safer option to use. The right, on the other hand, the Royal Guard has even though it has a lot more reward, it has a lot more risk tied to it as well. There's a timing associated with Royal Guard where if you time it too late, you will get hit by the attack, but time it too early, and then you get meter taken away from your super gauge. I'm not sure if any of you have played Devil May Cry, but just know that it's basically the risk-reward balance. This isn't the best example, but there are a ton of things that you can do with in combos and in terms of like regular gameplay that evens these out. For example, the Trickster Air Dash you can actually use to extend combos. When you knock an opponent away, enemy away, you could just Trickster Air Dash into them and then continue your combo from there. With Royal Guard, it's overall it gives you access to one of the most damaging moves in the game. So there's reward in that. So they're technically balanced, and it allows for variety because both of these options are technically equal in terms of the risk versus reward. Intentionality. This is self-explanatory. It's basically the ability to consistently use game systems whenever you desire, and not have it screw you over. So if I remember correctly, yes, this is Kingdom Hearts. So on the right is a gift from Kingdom Hearts 2 versus the super boss Lingering Will, which I have not defeated. It's a very hard boss. Give me some slack. On the left are two gifts from Kingdom Hearts 3, the latest version of the game. Now, I'm just going to pose this to all three of you. So the gift. So on the left, Kingdom Hearts 3, the top one is a big spell cast, and The bottom one is essentially a form changer, superpower or super power up. And on the left is essentially a super power up and then a big magic attack. Would anybody like to tell me what if there's a key difference between the two gifts that anyone can see? Okay, Jeopardy music is over now. So the answer I was looking for is that if you actually look on the right GIF, keep an eye on the top bottom left corner of the screen, the command menu. If you notice, every action is actually tied to a command on the command menu. But on the left, if you look at the bottom one, you even though if you look at the command menu from the GIFs on Kingdom Hearts 3, you actually will notice that there are options outside of the menu. This is because Kingdom Hearts 3, there's a system called the situation commands, where what happens is that over time in combat, you will charge these pips that would give you a certain time and option in the game. But the thing is that sucks. It sucks. I've played Kingdom Hearts 3. I tried to like it. I like Kingdom Hearts and I tried to like 3. But no, the situation command doesn't work because it doesn't give you access to the options you want in when you want them. In Kingdom Hearts 2, it was way better because what you could do is that you have at any given moment, you have access to the options that you want. Both come at a cost, yes, and both are technically activated the same way, dealing and taking damage, but they don't. But the key difference is that Kingdom Hearts 2, you can just use it. You wanna just go power up and then just hit that boss with the super move and die right after using it. You could do that. In Kingdom Hearts 3, on the other hand, you have to wait to use it. You don't have control over using it, and that takes away from intentionality. I really like Kingdom Hearts. Freedom. This is the third point when it comes to gameplay depth. It ties back. It's technically a mixture of the first two in practice, but well, 3 is a better selling number than 2. I'm just gonna tell you that much. So the ability to use options in any desired order dependent on your playstyle. This is essentially saying that, oh, hey, game, can I play like defensively right now? And the game says like, sure, no problem, play it. Or it's like, hey, I want to be stupid, I want to go aggro, and I don't want to think at all. And the game will say, sure, you could do that. The gameplay option, as long as you're engaging in as long as you're playing with the same tool set, the game should technically allow those types of gameplay styles, even though one might be inherently better than the other. And the best way to illustrate that is two famous Devil May Cry players, specific a guy called Sakaki and a guy called Dongri. I'm not sure if I could show these right now. I'm going to try it anyway. So these are both against this final boss of Devil May Cry 5. So, spoiler warning for Devil May Cry 5. I'm sorry. But I understand that most of you, if not all of you, don't have any reference for what this is, but you could see that, but the whole intentionality and balance is coming into play because he's using the balance will become obvious when I show Doguri compared to Sakaki. But basically, if you look, a lot of what he's doing is that he's using these tools in different ways that you probably wouldn't want to use. If you like earlier, he trickster dashed to get a positional advantage. He's using a lot of attacks to position himself at an advantageous situation. He's essentially applying pressure to the boss and maintaining a very high level of aggression. There's almost no downtime for the boss to sort of like counterattack, aside from HP gates that would trigger the next phase. He's very much if he's doing as much as reading a computer as what you could do, just like predicting every action that he's going to do with the appropriate response. And he's doing it, he's sort of, this is sort of what I'm taught. This is sort of the best part of intentionality. This is what intentionality should look like. There's almost never a downbeat in his gameplay. He's always doing something, preparing for something, trying to punish something, going for something. He has complete control over what his character can do, and he's using all those tools to maintain a high level of aggression. And he's taunting the boss. Devil May Cry has a move that's where your character will literally taunt the boss, and the game rewards you for doing that. It's a lot. So the fight is almost over, but if there's anything I want you to grasp from this, is the concept of definitely like gameplay freedom. The game is allowing for a lot of the tools to, honestly, a lot of these tools are probably not being used how they were originally intended to, but the game is still allowing for it, because this game is all about sort of like a little bit aggressive, but it's supposed to definitely encourage a sort of action and high engagement. And I feel like Sakaki's gameplay is definitely a good example for this. Also, I just love it whenever games allow you to taunt your enemies, because it's just a cool mechanic. So I'm not sure if he ends. Oh yeah, he's ending it. And of course you go for a big super move finisher, because why the hell not? But anyway, I probably should have cut that out. I probably should have stopped that earlier in hindsight, but 2020 hindsight is 2020. And where was there we go. Dongari. So if my memory serves me right, that I don't have ad block. Don't blame me. But I'm pretty sure Dongari is much more longer. So I'm just gonna cut it short. Also, I'm skipping to gameplay. Sorry about spoilers.
You gotta love scenes.
Yeah. So the main thing I want you to look at is the different approach to gameplay. Sakaki has a very much sort of high aggression style that was always having him following up a move with another one. But with Dongari, he's going for a much different approach. It's clearly more slower, if you can see. He's not trying to like finish the fight as quickly as possible. What he's trying to do is essentially do a lot of the more higher execution, more difficult to execute moves. It's a lot harder to know that, because if you haven't played the game, but just know that a lot of the stuff he's doing would probably break a lesser man's fingers, if not the whole hand. I'm not sure how clearly that's coming across, but even though he's using very similar tools in similar ways, he's clearly trying to go for something a lot more different, as I've stated before. Like he's not going for long combos, but he's trying to sort of like play in a way that he's playing to the audience, essentially, where he's constantly parrying everything. He's just like, he's taunting, he's going for like impractical moves that just look cool. And it's technically playing suboptimally, but it's still playing with the same level of intentionality. And that's sort of the point I wanted to get across. And yeah, if you want to see the rest of the video, you're going to have to see it for yourself, because I am not finishing that. That is 7 minutes. No, sir. How do I make it full screen? Yeah, I'm just going to continue like this. Oh, okay. So using all these factors, I've actually thought about it, and I have concluded a game that I can definitively say probably has the most gameplay depth out of any video game on the market right now. Can anybody guess what that is?
Is it a fighting game?
Just surprisingly, no.
Wow.
I know. I tricked all of you. You thought I was only the fighting game nerd, but no. I have actually found a game that technically has, by these criteria, has more depth. Should I just do it right now? Okay.
Yeah, sure.
Minecraft. If you think, it may seem weird at first, but everything actually fits perfectly with what I've been describing. The building mechanics is incredibly in depth in this game. You could, even though it's limited to a grid system, the freedom and amount of tools to use is incredibly diverse. And any sort of building montage or sort of like any showcase of what people have done in Minecraft is anything to go by. You'd probably agree with me. And Redstone on itself just adds a ton of depth. It's just electrical engineering at that point. Kind of. It's just circuitry and tons of stuff. And it's just, yeah, people have created processors in Minecraft. It's absolutely insane. This game has a ton of freedom and gives you a ton of tools to use in your own way. It's got a lot of intentionality because of all the blocks, even though they technically operate the same way. They have the different aesthetics allow you to paint and build however you want. And yeah, I'm pressing right. Yeah, thanks. That was the end of my presentation. I don't actually play Minecraft.